I'm joined at this hour by former cricketer Rajiv Seth and cricket blogger Rishi Chhabra to talk about that win. Coming to you, Rajiv, Kolkata Knight Riders winning in just the fashion that, they have got used to, on the knife's edge, a thrilling encounter. Year after year, they have been delivering at least one such contest, isn't it?
Indeed. Good morning, Rika, and good morning to all viewers. Brilliant evening. I mean, so far, City of Joy is concerned, they were literally in joy to witness the game that we did. It was a close clincher, which it didn't supposed to be. It was not supposed to be because with the total that they had posted. But I think Klaasen, as you rightly mentioned and narrated in the preview, is class apart, and that's what we all saw as to how he could pace his innings and sixes all over at the time that is needed the most. So it makes the difference. Unfortunately, it was not to be, and Shabazz getting out at the wrong time, and that was the thing. But I think from the KKR perspective, it's a great start. They have a lot of learning to do with the bowling department, and I think that's what they're going to take it back and put this across in the next fixture.
Rishi, talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on how Rana, in the final over, defending those 13 runs, he held his nerves to give KKR that win. Almost it looked like that Hyderabad would take it over the finish line.
Absolutely, Rika. I mean, the first ball being hit for a six, it felt like, Hyderabad are going to win this. And the way Rana bowled the remaining of the deliveries, held on to his nerves. I think hats off to him, making his debut, a newcomer. But, these are the situations that make you a better player, stand out from the rest. And the way he finished off, the way he defended those remaining of the 5-6 runs, I think it's just going to give him a big confidence for the remaining of the game, and probably confidence to the management as well that, they can throw the ball to him anytime needed in the future games as well.
Well, we'll wait for our director to bring up that picture of Gautam Gambhir. It's a tweet that we got. He was smiling year to year after the match. Rarely do you see Gautam Gambhir smile. Rajiv, it was a reason enough for Gautam, isn't it, last night? Because hardly anyone would have believed after that 26-run over, that's the picture, Gautam Gambhir smiling year to year. And it's really very rare to see Gautam smile the way he did. But after the 26-run over, even he wouldn't have believed that Kolkata will snatch this win, isn't it?
Indeed, and with a person like Gautam who keeps an eye on every ball, every instance, it was never easy. And as I said, that it's a close clincher. It was anybody's game at one point in the end, though it never looked to be when we started. So this is what the game is all about, and Gautam knows it very well, and he has marshaled his troops in a manner, with Chandrakant Pandit being there as a very renowned coach. So, I mean, these are early days, as we all know. The tournament has just started. There would be a lot of nerves. There would be a lot of trial and errors. So it will happen. But as you rightly said, one over was changing the complexion of it. And I think the way KKR got back was creditable to them. With when they were batting, Russel did the Russell sixathon, as whatever they call it, and I think it is brilliant that they all got together, because Russell needed runs also from this game, because he wanted to make a good start and wanted to do the talking, and it's important for him to get runs and important for KKR. I think overall it was a good blend, but it's just a start.
Let me ask you, Rajiv, what did you think about the way the night went for the most expensive player of the IPL auction, Mitchell Starc? The way he was hammered all over the park. That what would he be thinking at the end of the night?
See, I'll tell you, as a bowler myself, I'll tell you it's never easy, and you being picked as the most expensive player, and Starc is something class apart. But let's face it, T20 is all about batters. Bowlers are making the difference, and that's where the side gets the upper hand. But it's the batter's game. You want to see the sixes and fours. So bowler will always be under pressure, and with the seam bowler on a wicket like Eden, which is not a great boundary, not a big boundary as such. So it's going to be pressure. I think Starc is going to be in tremendous pressure playing at home games. more than playing away. And that's another thing I can just mention very clearly. But I think, as I said, these are early days to settle down. Starc will also find his rhythm, and you probably see more Yorkers coming in, because it's not the pace that is going to do the talking. It's the tactical part of the fast bowler which will come into play. The slow balls, as you rightly saw and mentioned about Harshit Rana, the
Right.
last over. I mean, had he bowled in the same pace that he bowled the first ball, it would have been over by third or fourth ball. So it's how you have to pace yourself, how you have to plan yourself as a bowler, and that's where it makes a difference. Expensive part is always going to play on his head, and so as many
Yeah.
others who've been bought at
You know,
that price. But
it's interesting that in a match when 400 plus runs were scored, we are still talking about the bowlers. But I have to talk about another person, which is Sunil Narine, with his phenomenal economy rate last night. Rishi, does it feel that Sunil Narine is almost getting back to that Narine of the old we saw in 2012, 2013, with the way he has been bowling in the last couple of years? And of course, yesterday was the first match for Kolkata Knight Riders.
I mean, KKR will hope that it happens, because he's been a match-winning bowler, not just for KKR but for the West Indies team as well. But in the last few years, like you said, he had lost his charm, but then he's come back now. But with the technology and with the analysis now present, I think it's getting easier for the batsman to read him. But again, he keeps coming with his new variations every now and then, and we've seen that in a game it is going to be difficult to read him. But overall, I think he's a match winner, and probably no matter how much technology advances, but at one point of time, Narayan will always have an upper hand with the batsman. And given the way he opened the batting as well, probably he would want some confidence there and score runs, so that he can contribute to the team more in a way.
I have another question to you, Rajiv, about Kolkata bowling. Would you say it's for Kolkata, it is good that their overseas buy, even though it's the most expensive buy, he didn't perform, but their local players, their domestic players, showed how good they were? Do you think that is like a good side to the Kolkata team?
indeed, Rika, you picked the point. We see IPL is meant for the domestic players. Let's face it. It's the foreigners who are bringing that competitiveness and that little flair into the tournament in a reasonable way. But this is where I think the whole country wants to see the national talent coming through. And I think it's really nice when a young fast bowler or a young bowler or an inexperienced bowler rubs shoulders with the best in the business, and that's where they learn, and that's where they get that experience. I think Indian bowlers are going to do well, like the previous edition also, and we are going to see more and more performances from our bowlers as well as the batters. I mean, why leave the batters aside?
Right.
So it's going to be interesting, because this is what IPL is meant for. It's $1 billion baby. It's not for nothing. I mean, it's one of the best in the world. So it has that competitiveness, it has that flair, it has that flamboyancy, and that's what makes it really a special product. And I feel our bowlers are going to do, and KKR has those bowlers, and they have mixed the blend in a manner that they have a good bowling strength too. I mean, batting seems to be their concern in some way, in
Right.
my view. If the if
But
the if the if the
Rajiv,
form
we
doesn't
have just
strike.
last 30 seconds on the show, and I'll take this question to Rishi. Heinrich Klaasen, he showed his real class, but do you think the position that he is coming into bat is a little too late? He should come in a little early to explore the kind of variation that he has in his repertoire?
I mean, kind of, but Rika, the kind of pitch that Eden Gardens had, I think it was suited for him to come down the order and probably take the match from there. But again, it is up to the management to decide, given the match situation, if he wants to, if they can send him up the order or just hold him where he bats. So again, depending on the match situation, I think it's the best suited the way he plays his cricket.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the show.